Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders.
I don't think that there's anywhere in the Constitution or preamble says that America is a democracy.
There is power in numbers, and I think that we have to rally around and we have to support what's right, and we have to collectively come together as a community.
The first thing we need to do is overthrow the government. We need to storm that motherfucking Capitol, but this time needs to be all of us against them.
I would like to see us fight like they were fighting in Minneapolis. I would like to see the whole country get that upset. Congress is waiting on us, and we're waiting on Congress. What Congress does know is that the power really does belong to the people. And as soon as there's an uproar from the people, that's when things get done. That's when people get fired. But I think people need to know just how much power they have and act in that way. Act like you have as much power as you do, and you'll see a lot more changes happening.
Nobody wants to fight for Israel. Please stand up at the Marines. Stand up for America. No one wants to fight for Israel.
The original purpose of schooling in the United States was for religious purposes. In colonial days, for individuals to know how to read the Bible. And later on, as far as who founded it, Horace Mann is known as the father of education. And the purpose of the founding under him was to teach individuals moral character. And then later on, under Thomas Jefferson, it was to educate individuals to be contributing members of society and to participate in voting. In schools, we're taught that in a democracy, one person, one vote. The reality is that it's more of a representative democracy where we vote for people to represent our ideals. The current school system is more of a hierarchy where you have one person that's in charge, the principal, then you have teachers, and then you have students. We are taught to conform in school, basically do as you're told, not ask questions. The voice of students aren't usually heard. They don't really have any say-so. And with teachers, as far as the curriculum, things are handed down. So it's not based on a democratic system. It's kind of more of a dictatorship.
When the night has come and the land is dark.
The way that we've consumed media has changed. Typically, we get our news started off from radio, then television. Now, you see that most people consume news via social media. Not only that, it's the people who are delivering the news. You get news from everywhere. It could be your neighborhood. It could be your family members. You know, everybody is somewhat of a journalist these days. Media has changed when it comes to, I think, its goal. Media was designed to give us non-biased information and then let us decide for ourselves, you know, how to interpret it and which side you lie on. Now, everything is almost everything is opinion based. So depending on what you are watching, what journalist, what station, it's designed to persuade you. It's designed to influence you one way or the other. So you have to be discerning as a viewer. You have to get all the information you can before you make a decision. Ask yourself, why are they leaning in this direction? What are the sources? You have to question everything. Everything you read, everything someone says. Democracy, the power belongs to the people. With media, our job is to give the people information. Our job is to give you the right information for you to be able to take that power that you have, because we live in a democracy, and use that to make informed decisions, and use that to make decisions in terms of who you're going to vote for, use that to be watchdogs, to hold people accountable, to hold the leaders accountable.
Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed.
Make you do wrong, make you do right.
As African Americans, music is a part of our foundation, and it's a part of our culture from way back during our slavery years. I believe the prison and the music correlation is relatable. I think the lyrics So most states have a standardized test that they actually measure the success of students. And in Ohio, we call it the third grade guarantee. So unfortunately, in the state of Ohio, like many other states, that third grade guarantee is a predictor for people. State prison systems, they make predictions onto how many prisoners and how many prisons they will actually have in the future based off of those test scores. So that test actually is a determination onto if the student will actually go on to the fourth grade or not. So if students do not pass that third grade guarantee test in the state of Ohio, then it is a possibility that they can potentially be held back. And that is when the school to prison pipeline, that correlation comes into play, because when students don't have the necessary skills to pass that test, and if they don't have the grades, and if they're held back, your chances of entering into the criminal justice system is actually higher. So in that, your risk, it goes up. Geographical racism is where you live determines how you're treated. It determines on how people view you, and it determines racism, and it largely impacts, if you will, the hood. When you think about suburban areas, when you think about influential areas, the police presence is there. The crime rate is typically a little lower. Our inner city communities, they suffer, and they don't have the same presence. They don't have the same intentionality as a lot of the suburbs and places that have more resources and money and smaller police departments. Although there is not a technical line that says your zip code impacts you this way, we see it. And I am a product of the inner city, and we see it. I worked in the criminal justice system 30 years, and we see it.
Right now, the government and stuff, we're not learning none of that in school, like, at all. Like, the government is, like, holy, like, it's so bad right now. It's really sad that when people do try to bring it up in school, they're like, why are you talking about it? Or, like, they try to stop us from talking about stuff that's actually happening outside of school.
My name is Joy, and some things that I do like about school is seeing my friends every day.
Seeing my friends. I actually really love learning.
I can learn new things.
Yeah, I would say I'm kind of the opposite. I like school for the friends,
and when some of my teachers push me to my full potential.
School, they'll make you just learn some crazy stuff, like we'll be taking pre-calculus. They got us doing all these numbers. We're not gonna use it in the real world or nothing like that, man. They don't help us find ways to make money.
I definitely think that my education that I'm getting here is extremely valuable for my future, because we do have personalized classes like personal finance and just classes that actually matter, that I'll actually need in the future.
When we learn in school, it's not like showing us how to like work with taxes or like living in general. Like we wouldn't know how to like really manage our money.
but some classes, like just American history, we should be learning like more on a global scale, because we need to know like what's going on, and I think we should be more informed about like current events.
In a democracy, you get to like, you know, make your own choices, or like you get to have a say in things.
Man, we don't control school. We don't get to choose the lunches that we want, man. We don't get to choose what type of colors we want for our school, or if we want to have a party this late or a different day. We don't need to get to choose our field trips. They control all that.
I think everybody's opinion isn't heard, and some people are scared just because of what they believe in. They think that they're going to be judged or treated differently just on because they have another opinion.
We don't make a lot of decisions for ourselves that we should be able to decide.
To me, it feels like prison. Not gonna cap.
school, they try to hide stuff like the real slaves and stuff and what actually happened to them when they try to teach us our history. And that's just like really messed up.
I'll say I learn more from the internet because school has a limit onto things that they teach.
I feel like I learn more on the internet because the internet talks about other stuff like outside of the world. And when we learn on the internet, it shows how we're living now, like how white people is being treated differently from black people. And when we try to bring it up in school, they just joke about it and don't really want to like listen to it.
Do I feel like the media reflects a country that's a democracy? No.
No, I don't think the current reality of our media reflects democracy.
No, the media does not reflect a country that's a democracy.
I think the current reality of our media reflects a country that is being run by special interests with large budgets who have their own agenda and, are willing to do whatever it takes to make money.
I feel like the current reality of our country reflects all the racism that's been in this motherfucker forever.
We in bad shape. We are in bad shape, but try to be the light and keep shining amongst the darkness.
I think there's a fight happening right now between the people and the government.
We do have the freedom to use our voices and speak up against the government.
I feel like I have the safety to speak up when I'm at my own home. When it comes to the government, they might shut my Facebook, Instagram, and everything else down, but I'ma do it though.
I definitely think there's a level of censorship, and it's getting like more and more, especially with who's in office right now. For example, on social media, on TikTok, certain TikToks that have certain topics of like what's going on with our government, or there's certain problems that our government has caused, they don't get as many views as the TikToks that support what the government are doing.
We do have the free will and the choices to speak out against it, but two things can be true at once. It is also true that when you speak up again for the right thing, there's punishments that could come with that.
Violence happens. We know that people die. We've seen that with the different movements throughout our history, but we have to continue to speak up. We have to continue to fight. So is it safe? Maybe not always, but we still have to do it. We still have to speak up.
The current administration ran on no war, trying to get rid of things like the income tax, basically a lot of libertarian ideals, and no new wars. And they're doing none of that.
It seems like our government is not operating for the people and by the people. It's for certain people by that same certain people.
They just don't care about the American people.
Because I don't believe that they care about the citizens.
It really harkens back to the thoughts and processes of people like philosopher Karl Marx, exploring that our country is divided by class right now. And the ruling class in the government does not want to see people like us win.
The media and the news is become mostly propaganda. I'm not sure why. It may be because of just big money interests, but the media in this country is pretty much a joke.
And I don't think that that is correct, that we should be able to know what's going on with our government.
I feel like the media and the news projects black people in a negative light almost all the time. And if they stop bullshitting and put the real news on there, then we'll be able to see that crime is not just committed by us.
With media, social media, and all of the other outlets that we do have, people can tweak things and change it to where they want to convey whatever message they want. But if we are out doing the footwork and actually seeing it firsthand, can't hide the truth.
That's real democracy, when the power belongs to the people. That's what I love about what's going on in social media right now. You don't have to wait to be hired by a network or a local station. You grab your camera, you can set it up yourself, and you can tell the stories, you can talk to the people, you can go talk to leaders.
I've mostly moved out of mainstream news and almost am exclusively in alternate media, and some of those things like I donate to because I think independent press and real honest media is really important.
When I look on social media and I see something bad has happened, I do feel a lot of empathy for them, but I try not to dwell on it because I don't want to let it ruin my whole day, because I know ultimately that God is in control.
Change has to happen, and change starts with us.
Get outside, actually see what's going on outside, be a part of the world, talk to people. It ends up being a lot different from what you see on TV. The real world is a lot different from what you see on TV and on social media. So I want to be outside mostly.
I do believe in Buckhead. They are serving and protecting us. A lot of higher end cars, people with a higher status. I think it's a lot more police visually on the streets here compared to other areas like Lithonia, Stone Mountain, the West End. I think it's a little bit different here. They cater a little bit more to us.
Yes, I had a bad interaction with the police, like
Probably 4 weeks ago when they had killed my brother. He was he was running from him, and like he was on feet, and they were still in the car, and they ran him over in the car.
Being born and raised in Atlanta, I think that there's over-policing in our neighborhoods.
They will hop out, search you without no consent, no nothing, without even asking me my name or nothing, or no probable cause.
I feel very safe in my neighborhood with the police.
I live up in Sandy Springs, and it's a smaller town, and so it has a nice community feel. Probably feels a little different than like the city of Atlanta.
I don't know what they're doing, but they ain't serving and protecting. Too many killers going on.
They have really fast response times, and they do sweet things like we're parked on the street and the street is a cut through. They'll ask if we want to move our cars just to make sure nobody hits it. It's a good community.
Just like today, for instance, I saw 2 officers just jump out the car and run into a person's house with their guns drawn. And then they turn around and be like a false alarm or something. They're not over there in the white neighborhood running up at people's houses with guns drawn. They're not doing that.
Well, from the data and the research, I think it depends on which community you're talking about. Historically, a lot of the policing in the South came from slave patrols and the economic interest in controlling the movement of a black labor force. These have been pretty detrimental to the black community, led to a lot of disparities within the criminal legal system. Longer sentences, harsher charges for similar infractions as whites.
As long as I'm not getting a speeding ticket, I feel okay. I don't speed, by the way.
No, I've never had a bad interaction with the police.
I don't even know if I had a good interaction with the police.
I haven't necessarily myself experienced a bad interaction with police.
My last situation went good. I went to jail, and it didn't supposed to be like that.
Like, I've been arrested for just looking like a black person, you feel me?
I have never had a bad interaction with the police.
Oh, yes, I have quite a few bad interactions with the police.
I have not. Have you?
I'm not. How about I call the police and I go to jail? I didn't even do anything wrong, but I called them and they took me to jail, even though they let me go and took me out the car and everything, and apprehended the suspect, the person they were supposed to apprehend. But look what I had to go through. I had to go through some things. Why? Because of my black skin.
A bad interaction with the police. I have gotten speeding tickets, and that is never a good interaction.
My last interaction, I went to jail. They planted something in my car.
I was riding a little Benz. The cops pulled me over, pulled me out of the car, pulled me out of the car because he was in the passenger seat. Nobody even called them to even question that the car was stolen. They just immediately assumed the situation.
I had a bad interaction with the police like probably 4 weeks ago when they had killed my brother. They said he killed himself when he didn't even have a gun on him to kill himself. They said it was one shot fired and he didn't have no gun. And when our mom went out to the precinct to see the body cam footage, somehow they said the body cam was not recording. So we just trying to sue him right now.
And at the end of the day, man, we tired of explaining ourselves. We don't need to. We should just have to exist, just for being people.
The police not out there too. Right here. Bad interaction, man. And what happened here, I'm suing their ass to get my motherfucking money. But it's taking them forever.
See, if I was white, it would have been no problem. But when I came out of my mouth, they would have no problem believing what I said. But by me being black, it's a whole nother ball game. It's like, I can't believe what you're saying. I don't trust you. You're wrong. You're a criminal.
The current reality of our police system very well reflects how our democracy is functioning right now. Very broken. I think we've gone toward proto-fascism. You think about ICE, we're on the way to Hitler-style fascism. That is the direction we're heading. Aren't at the gas chambers yet, but remember, that was a final solution.
I mean, this is not really a democracy, this is more of a diplomacy.
I think it depends a lot on where you are. That's what I think. So my town is nice and quiet, but I don't think it works that way in other places.
Man, this is a motherfucking dictatorship. He who has the goal has the rules.
Well, it's a big old, look at it like this. It is a democracy because you had to look at it like this.
Well, all right, the original definition of democracy in the Roman Republic was one for land owning and wealthier men of a certain class. So if you go all the way back there, yes. It's still very class divided, very based on appearance, wealth, location. Is it completely egalitarian? Is it fully, is everybody equally protected and served by the police? No.
I don't think America was created to be a true democracy, just based on the way that our executive system is set up with an electoral college. They were afraid that there would be uneducated individuals who would not be able to make a choice in selecting the leader of the country. So the electoral college, I think, was created for that purpose, to make sure that there were educated people making the decisions about who would lead the country. Power is kept in the hands of those who make the most money. I don't think that the working class, that they necessarily have the power. I think it's in the hands of the individuals that have the money. So those who own the gold make the rules.
Man, this is a motherfucking dictatorship. He who has the gold has the rules. Next question.
I think Donald Trump's plan, as far as democracy is concerned, is to get rid of democracy and to make it a dictatorship where the person in charge gets to make all the rules for everybody. The problems that can stem from Donald Trump's plan to make 2026 the last election is we could have our very first revolution. I don't think that people are going to sit by idly and just let somebody take their rights away. There are a lot of people that care about their rights, and I don't think anyone's going to just sit by and let their rights be taken. I know I'm not.
Something we can do as citizens in America, we could
really just connect more, like be more friendly, just don't judge just on how they look or like what they think, really get to know them,
A really great place would be to start with kindness. I think that we're missing that a lot from leadership these days.
Just don't push out negativity.
Educating ourselves and understanding, don't live under a rock. Diversify yourself, diversify your interests and the people that you are around.
Have some courage, stand up.
Open more spaces instead of just sports.
Y'all should have students that say their opinions and really speak out for ourselves. I feel like some students, they have great minds and great ideas, and they just don't know because they don't really ask for it. They just go by how adults think.
First of all, get Trump out the office immediately. I'm so sorry. Some students' minds are beyond their years. So
at the end of the day gonna end, and you're gonna always have that feeling, dang, I should have said this or I should have done that. So just go ahead and do it and get it over with.
I think we should learn to stand for others when they're in the trouble.
Use your power to say what needs to be said, to fight for the side that needs to be fought for.
Overall, we need to understand that we are all together on this and we're fighting for each other, and there's no us versus them. It's just us.
Instead of like being apart and like hurting each other, like we need to come together.
Come together
As one.
As black people, instead of everybody else come together. Mexicans come together, white people come together, but we can't come together. It's like we are against each other, and that's crazy.
I feel like every race should get together, everybody get along.
Everybody had to be on one accord, man. You know what I mean? Come together on one accord, and we have to walk this thing in love, man.
Regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of sexual orientation, we have to come together. We have to stick together and set aside differences for a common good.
I feel like we need to stand together more to fight back.
I think as citizens, we just have to stand up because it's like there's so many of us. If we all decided that we were going to do something, I'm sure stuff could get done. I mean, I don't know if you've seen what happened in Nepal a couple months ago, but they literally overthrew their tyrannical government because people decided to band together. I think if we would, put in some effort, maybe something would actually get done.
Skinhead, deadhead, everybody gone bad. Situation, aggravation, everybody allegation. In the suite, on the news, everybody dog food. Bang, bang, shot dead, everybody's gone mad. All I wanna say is that they don't really care about us.